Triathlon is coming to Muncie this weekend once again. Anna Chalker will join us live from the race course this morning to talk race details and the impact on the city.
Plus, we have the latest on Hurricane Ian.
You will be seeing warmer temperatures this weekend as well as more on Hurricane Ian. Get that coffee ready, open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal weather.
Good Friday morning to you. You're waking up with Cardinal weather. I'm Zach Greer.
And I'm Grace Benkowski. I know we're heading into the weekend, so happy Friday. I'm not sure, Zach, do you have any plans this weekend?
Honestly, I don't. Do you?
I don't have any off the top of my head right now, but I know that the city has a lot of things going on. We have Ironman, we have some festivals, so let's get into that.
Yes, of course. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend, but you don't like running like the triathlon, Oktoberfest may be for you. The Yard is partnering with the Indiana on Tap to host the first annual Munich to Muncie Oktoberfest. The event starts at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and there will be breweries, distilleries, and wineries from all over the state in attendance. There will also be pretzels and competitions like stein holding, keg tossing, and the awards for the best lederhosen. Proceeds from the event will go to the eco-rehab efforts to rehab vacant homes in Muncie. Tickets are $40 at the gate, and designated driver tickets are also available for $10. Now, the racers aren't the only visitors to Muncie. On Sunday, the Delaware County Fairgrounds hosted the Indiana Exotic Pet Expo. And Grace, you got the chance to check out some of the animals. What was it like?
It was super cool to be able to go to the fairgrounds and see all these interesting animals that you don't usually see around Muncie.
Were you focused on any animals at all?
Not particularly, although I did get to meet one, but I also got the chance to talk to some of the vendors about what inspired them about getting into the business. Take a look. Scales and tails, all for sale at this weekend's expo. Creator Ron Billingsley says the Exotic Pet Expo is something he's wanted to bring to Indiana for quite some time, after working in shows in surrounding states.
I started by vending other shows, and Indiana was lacking.
Billingsley began his show after viewing the expo at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, but his love for animals began much earlier than that.
I've had animals my whole life. Started by catching baby raccoons and skunks to catching little turtles and stuff in the creek.
Along with the pets, this event was also an expo of passion.
As I got older, my passion got larger.
For vendor Zachary Keeler, it's what got him involved in the exotic animal business 15 years ago.
The passion comes from a lifelong just love of animals.
Keeler encourages anyone looking to uncage their excitement for animals to check out the expo the next time it comes to Muncie.
It's a great opportunity to meet people in the industry, to learn about the animals that you love, and to potentially make this hobby your own.
And guys, don't worry, if you missed this month's Pet Expo, there's another one coming to Muncie on November 27th. In Muncie, Grace Benkowski, Newslink, Indiana. And like I said, if you didn't get a chance to visit the animals that last Sunday, they will be returning here on November 27th. So be sure you mark your calendars. It's going to be right after Thanksgiving. Admission will cost $5 at the door, and tickets can be purchased there.
Now, Ball State students are taking a stand for the environment. Last Friday, students gathered at the University Green to protest and spread awareness to climate change. The No Planet B climate rally was sponsored by Student Government Association and University Democrats. It focused on strategies to make Muncie and Ball State more green. Students at the event said that can help the people make a big difference. Now, Ball State's Green Action hosted
I think it's really important that people know that you don't have to be perfect to help with the environment. It's as simple as maybe using like 2 less plastic bags a week or getting a reusable water bottle.
Ball State's Green Action team hosted a campus cleanup event on Tuesday to pick up trash on campus. The group will host an Eco Scaries event in late October.
In 2 weeks, voter registration will end and early voting will begin.
Newslink Indiana's Jovi Taylor talked to students and staff about the importance of getting out to the polls.
The country is preparing for midterm elections. Voters will head to the polls in a few weeks. Some Ball State students are planning to vote on October 12th, when early voting begins. One freshman, Hayden Macklin, discussed that her objective to vote all depends on the research she conducts on the candidates running.
I would have to do some research to see where I would lie, but I am hoping that I'm able to.
Freshman Carolina Stovley said voting is a right she intends to take full advantage of.
Because I think it's important to make your opinion heard, and by just not voting, you're not allowing yourself to really stick up for yourself and what you want.
And after seeing the number of people who voted in the 2020 election, political science professor Chad Kinsella says we may not see that number this year.
So it's going to be less than 2020, I think probably substantially less. And I think there'll probably be a lot more people who will vote in person on November 8th, most likely.
Kinsella says early voting has given younger voters more time to head to the polls and make sure their voices are heard. In Muncie, Joby Taylor, Newslink, Indiana.
Now, for more information about early voting, check in with your local polls or go to ballstatedaily.com.
The U.S. Department of Education is awarding Ball State's Teacher College $2.6 million. According to a press release, the grant money will be used for, quote, Project Brilliance. The project will develop an all-inclusive approach to identifying and supporting gifted students with disabilities. Ball State will partner with other teams from across universities in the country. They will work with students from underdeserved and marginalized backgrounds. Students at Ball State will work as data collectors for this 5-year project. Now, tossing it over to weather, we're looking at some local temperatures. Ryan, how's it doing out there?
Well, this morning, you might not have noticed, but I've noticed when I was on my way to Muncie, we've seen a little bit of fogging out there in the area. It shouldn't be that bad right now, but right now around here, just north of Muncie, around Eden, we do have some thick fog in the area. So if we're going to be going out, going out this morning, just leave yourself some extra time out there and distance between the cars and stuff. The radar right now looks pretty clear out here. You do see that we have some passing showers out here to out there in the mountains, but this is the big story right here, Hurricane Ian. I have more on that in my full forecast in just a little bit. And for this next 8 hours, the temperatures are 45 degrees in Indianapolis, 37 degrees in Muncie, 39 degrees in Kokomo, and 43 degrees in Lafayette at this hour. Now, for the next 8 hours or 12 hours, you're going to see that the temperatures are going to warm up to right around 68, maybe close to 70 degrees. That's still below average for this time of year. I have more on that in Hurricane Ian and my full forecast coming up after this. Back to you all after this.
Ryan, thank you so much. And keeping things in Delaware County, Muncie Burris boys soccer hitting their stride at the right time. The Owls are now winners of 7 straight games, one of their latest victories, including coming from Tuesday with a 5-3 win over Indy Genesis. Muncie Burris seniors Colin McBride and Bryce Carnes both 1 goal shy of a hat trick with 2 goals each, and sophomore Spencer McKinney contributing with 1 goal as well. Led by head coach David Carnes, Muncie Burris looks to keep the momentum rolling as sectionals approach.
Well, looking forward to, first of all, playing Yorktown this week as well as Wapahani, 2 local schools to finish out our regular season. Then we're going into the Class 1A sectional at Anderson Preparatory Academy next week, playing some decent teams there, and then hoping to be successful and move on into the regional games against some of the better teams in the state in Class 1A.
After beating Yorktown 7-2 last night, the Owls will look to extend their winning streak to 8 games tonight as they travel to Wapahani.
Transitioning to the court, Muncie Burris girls volleyball looking to expand on their resume going into Sunday's playoff seed meeting. The Owls on a 4-game win streak looking to make it 6 before this Sunday seed meeting in hopes of getting the top seed. Now, after securing an undefeated conference record and a conference championship in their win over Park Tudor last Saturday, the 17-8 Owls look to finish their season against 4 non-conference opponents. Head coach Jim Craig expresses the importance of this final week of games as he finishes his 46th year of coaching.
This 2-week stretch for us as far as getting ready for the tournament is huge compared to how we started the season and how we're ending the season. It's the difference between night and day.
The Owls will look to keep their streak alive and finish their season strong with games against Newcastle, Fort Wayne Carroll, Muncie Central, and Pendleton Heights to round out their season this coming week. And we have been talking about this year's Ironman race. We're going to give you guys a little bit of background on that. Muncie has been hosting this race for more than 40 years. More than 170 Ironman triathlons are held across the world. Racers here in Muncie will be competing 4th spots in the Ironman World Championship.
The full triathlon course is just over 70 miles, and last year the top finisher completed the course in just under 4 hours and 59 seconds, which is a big time. Yeah, this 70.3 mile triathlon starts here at Prairie Creek Reservoir tomorrow morning at 7:30 with a 1.2 mile swim. Now, we want to give you guys a full look on the course. It is very twisty and turny around the reservoir, and very exclusive for the runners.
Yeah, definitely. And once athletes complete the swim in the reservoir, they'll be doing a 56-mile bike ride starting on Windsor Street and travel on the closed county and state highways like US 35. They will then stop on Gates Road. After all of that, it's still not over. Athletes will finish the race with a 13.1 mile run on the south side of the reservoir, where they will finish the race on Gates Road.
And this year, the city is adding a new race for younger athletes. Tonight at 5:30, kids ages 1 to 17 have a chance to compete in Iron Kids downtown. These races range from an 80-foot run to a 1-mile non-competitive race. Now, this will be a busy weekend in the city, so be aware of roads being closed on race trails, traffic backed up on detours, as well as restaurants having larger crowds.
You will see some familiar faces in this race. City Hall entered as a relay team of Special Project Manager Dustin Clark for swim, City Controller Craig Wright for bike, and Mayor Dan Ridenauer completing the race for the team. Now, if you want to take part without competing in this 70.3-mile course, you can sign up for volunteer spots at ironman.com/IM703-Muncie.
Yeah, of course. And this race brings hundreds of people to Muncie every single year. And this weekend, last year, the city saw a $4 million economic impact and a boom in business.
Mayor Dan Ridenauer completed the full race in 2021. He finished in 7 hours, 35 minutes, and 7 seconds. Now, that's still impressive. I know it would take me a lot longer than that.
I definitely don't think that I could be able to complete it in 7 hours and 35 minutes exactly. Now, just ahead, NASA releasing new photos of the aftermath of a test collision with an asteroid and spacecraft.
That's after your weather now.
Welcome back. The time is currently 8:13 and you're taking a live look outside of the Cooper Science Building. Now, scientists say they have made a massive discovery that might put one Midwestern town on the map. They believe they've located a site of a massive meteor crash from about 500 million years ago.
Kirsten Mitchell explains how scientists made this discovery and what it could tell us about our past and our future.
Supposed to be a typical geologic remapping of Dakota County, but instead, scientists at the Minnesota Geological Survey unearthed something out of this world.
This is an old blast in the past.
Geologist Julia Steenberg believes they found the site of a meteor crash. The crater under Invergrove Heights spans about 2.5 miles wide and dates back 490 million years.
1 to several football fields would have been the size of this meteorite that would have hit.
Here in Invergrove Heights, there's nothing to see from above the ground, but if you've driven on Highway 52, you've likely driven above that meteor site. The real evidence can only be found about 350 feet below ground.
We noticed the grains of sand had a very particular look, like they were shocked or slightly fractured, as well as some of the data showed that the rocks are actually inverted.
They're calling it the Pine Bend Impact. If verified, it would be the first meteor site in Minnesota among just 190 known sites worldwide.
Put us on the map, so to speak.
Scientists estimate the area of the crater is 11 times the size of the iconic Meteor Crater in Arizona. A discovery like this allows us to learn more about our past and look ahead to the future.
It's not something that we need to necessarily worry about in our lifetimes, but to know that it could happen, and NASA even, is exploring ways to stop it from happening is really interesting.
About a third of all known meteor sites are buried, like the one found in Inver Grove Heights. Steinberg is trying to get her findings published and get that site added to the official count. NASA has released new images of the aftermath of one of their most recent missions. The Hubble and James Webb telescopes were pointed at the asteroid strike by the DART spacecraft Monday. Now take a look. These images were taken before and after the crash. Scientists say it looks like a cloud of material were ejected from the asteroid after contact. They're planning on using this information from the images to learn more about the crash. Now, that marked the very first time NASA was able to purposely crash into an asteroid and potentially change its trajectory.
The James Webb Space Telescope also captured a different set of images. Check out these pictures of a spiral galaxy 29 million light years from Earth. NASA calls those white spiral arms the bones of the galaxy, which are typically hard to see because of dust. This is the first image that has shown this much detail. The Hubble Space Telescope has taken other images of this galaxy before. The James Webb Space Telescope has enough fuel to keep taking photos like this for about 20 years.
Those photos are fantastic.
That is unbelievable. I mean, those are really, really cool to see.
Definitely.
Now, going to transition over a little bit to national weather. We have an update from Eric. What do you have for us?
We have wild patterns around here in the U.S. right now. Fortunately, Hurricane Ian, which is hot to the southeast right now. So as you see here is that Hurricane Ian is right up, maybe towards the Carolinas as it got done preparing for Florida. Unfortunately, it's expected to make landfall sort of Carolinas later today and bring in more heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and some flooding, unfortunately, to this area, which is not good for the southeast. Considering they had it could catch our strike from a hurricane. And looking at our watches and warnings right now, we do have tropical storm warnings and hurricane warnings for much of the southeast, along with flash flood watches for Virginia and some wind advisories out to our west, indicating areas of where there's where Hurricane Ian can have an impact. And unfortunately, this is expected to be a widespread area. And looking towards the other hotspot for watches right now. Well, previously there was some watches here in New York. It looks like they expired, but there are still some frost advisories for much of the region due to temperatures dropping to around freezing, but not quite freezing, but just enough to where you can get that frosting on the grass, and unfortunately that's gonna have an impact on your morning if you're gonna be heading out. I mean, but looking towards temperatures right now, temperatures are quite cool across much of the nation. 37 degrees here in Muncie, 47 degrees here in Kansas, a little warmer down south, 6 degrees in Dallas, and across the region, hotspot being Las Vegas at 78 degrees. And looking towards the temperature today, we're expecting temperatures to be quite warm across much of the nation's midsection. Temperatures around 80 degrees here in Kansas City, 84 degrees here in Dallas, and then across the nation, 70 degrees here in Cincinnati, and 64 degrees here in New York. So looking quite nice for your day today if you're going to be heading out, or if you're going to be traveling today. And then looking towards tomorrow, we're expecting another nice day, looking to be a gorgeous day across much of the nation's midsection. 77 degrees here in Kansas City, 82 degrees here in Dallas, and then our cool spot being 53 degrees here in Billings, so quite cold, and then our hot spot being 91 degrees here in Las Vegas. So looking quite nice for your day tomorrow. So don't forget to go enjoy that nice fall weather here in the Midwest, because it is going to look looking pretty good for your afternoon, night tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Eric. In just a moment, we'll break down what you need to know about Hurricane Ian, where it landed, and the impact.
Plus, what meteorologists are predicting for the rest of the hurricane season. That's after a message with Mitz.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, Mitts will take you there.
Welcome back. The current time is now 8:20 and you're taking a live look outside campus. We have some more stories for you about Hurricane Ian. As Tropical Storm plummets part of Florida, a new study shows roughly half of the hospitals in the 25 metropolitan areas are at risk of flooding from the potential storm. Now, according to a story published Thursday in the GeoHealth Journal, a Category 2 storm could bring high waters to these facilities. The findings are based on data from nearly 700 hospitals located within 10 miles of the Atlantic and Gulf coasts. They are first to research and look into the risks hurricanes can bring to hospital-based care and treatments. Among the areas where hurricanes could cause these concerns, Miami, Boston, New Orleans, and New York City.
And millions of people in Florida don't have power right now due to Hurricane Ian. Just to give you an idea of how many people are in the dark, take a look at this new nighttime satellite imagery from NOWA. There's still a lot of cloud cover, but you could see a significant amount of visible light has disappeared. As of Thursday morning, PowerOutage.us showed about 89% of all customers in Lee County didn't have power. That's where Fort Myers and Cape Coral are, and about 92% of customers were without power in DeSoto County. And it's even worse for Hardee County, where almost 100% of customers are in the dark. That adds up to more than 2.6 million people.
The United States Coast Guard flew over Fort Myers Thursday morning, parts of a whole neighborhood underwater. In other areas, roofs have been ripped off, pieces of them, along with what looks like siding and other debris, litter the area. In a marina, boats are piled together. The mayor of Fort Myers has asked people to stay in their homes if they can, saying it's still too dangerous with the amount of water in the area. Slick roads, downed trees, and power lines.
Waking Up with Cardinal Weather's Anna Chalker spoke with Indiana Michigan Power, who sent 350 crew members to Florida, some of which are here in Muncie. Officials say the team made it to Tampa last night, and the crews started working as soon as they could. They will work with other utility companies to clean up fallen power lines, clean debris, and turn power on as quickly as possible. These photos were taken in the Fort Wayne barn as the crew prepared to travel to Florida. I&M spent the past week preparing their trucks and supplies. The crew knows the cleanup can take weeks, and the residents are at the top of their minds.
Let's face it, these people down in Florida are facing a critical time, and the faster we can get the lights back on, the more sense of normalcy they can have.
Crew call will return to Indiana, and they will assess the damage every day to move different parts of the state when needed. It's really nice to see local people being able to help out the community for Hurricane Ian. Let's keep things local for local weather. Ryan, how's the weather looking outside right now?
Well, right now, we're looking pretty nice outside. You know, we got mostly sunny skies this morning. You know, we are lacking some rain. We could really use that rain, unlike Florida. Florida has had enough rain for right now. You're going to see that here a little bit later on in my forecast here, that it's going to look nice. We're going to actually see temperatures warm up a little bit, as you see here in just a little bit. But we're going to deal with the sunny and dry conditions. We do have 70s returning. It's still going to be slightly below average for this time of year. And of course, we're going to be tracking Hurricane Ian, as you will get to in just a second. The temperatures right now still pretty chilly. Look, 37 degrees in Muncie, 39 in Fort Wayne, and in Kokomo, 45 degrees in Indianapolis. After this hour, in the next 12 hours, we're going to still be below average. We're going to warm up to around 68 degrees. We might push close to 70 degrees as we go throughout the day, so we might still see a 70 if we get lucky, we get enough sunshine in the area. If you look at this radar right now, we're looking pretty nice outside. You know, we don't have nothing going on. We're going to stay like that for pretty much most of the day. Now, even though it's nice over here, I can't quite say the same for areas like Florida and even the Carolinas. So I'm going to show you right here as we time out this radar here. You're going to see that as I step off the screen for a second, you're going to see that this is going to track north as we go throughout the day, as we go through the Carolinas. Then it's going to move up tomorrow up into Virginia, parts of West Virginia, even in Pennsylvania, even Ohio. You see that we see some of the clouds coming to close to Indiana as well. But the most important thing, we're not going to get much in the way of rain, and we're going to show you how much rain you're going to be getting in these next few days. Absolutely nothing. We have no rain coming up in the next few days, and that's going to lead to this. The next 8 to 14 days, we're not going to see much in the way of anything. A probability is going to see we're going to be really low when it comes to rain. And only out here in the southwest in Arizona and New Mexico is going to see a decent amount of rain. That's not the only thing we have to worry about with this this hurricane. We also worry about the winds as well, because the winds are going to be a bit of a factor, especially on Sunday, as I'll show you here. Wind gusts get as high as up there, close to 20, even in some areas close to 30 miles an hour for these winds too. That's probably going to be one of the major effects that we have from Hurricane Ian is the winds, and yes, a few of those clouds coming into the area. So as we go through tonight, we're going to see partly cloudy skies. 46 degrees is going to be our low, with winds out the northeast at 5 miles an hour. For tomorrow morning, if you wake up to the Ironman race, you're going to see that temperatures are going to be 50 degrees. It's going to be a bit nippy with those winds coming out the north at 10 miles an hour. So if you're going out there, make sure that you dress accordingly to the temperatures. And if you're going out there to run, just make sure you stretch before you go out there and run that race. Make sure you don't pull no muscles. And if that's not enough, we also have the football game coming up as well. And they play, Ball State play NIU Huskies at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. If you want more action, let's go to the football game for Indianapolis. The Indianapolis Colts are also going to be playing against the Tennessee Titans at 1 o'clock on Sunday, and it's going to be mostly sunny skies with 63 degrees at game time. Northeast winds at 10 to 15 miles an hour. And you see here on the 7-day forecast, as I was stating earlier, absolutely no rain in sight. We're going to be dry as we go throughout the day. 70s are going to be in our forecast until we hit Thursday. Look at it, only 61 degrees on Thursday. A big surprise there. That's going to be due to another cold front coming into the area. It's going to drop those temperatures right back down. We're going to see in some areas, some cases next week where temperatures might not even get out of the 50s next weekend. So we have to keep that in mind. So
yeah, we have been seeing temperatures decrease, but it's also very nice to see the fact that there is no rain. So that is definitely a plus, I would say. Yeah, Ryan, thank you very much.
And in just a moment, a new Airbnb will get you ready for the spooky season.
That's after your weather now.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. NewsLink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
Welcome back. A new pay bump will go into effect in October for workers at Amazon. America's biggest online retailer announced the average starting pay for warehouse workers and delivery drivers will jump to $19 an hour. That's up $1 from the previous average. Now the raise comes ahead of the busy holiday season. Amazon workers in several facilities are also planning to unionize. One Amazon facility in New York is set to hold a union election next month. Amazon workers are looking to unionize because they're seeking for higher wages, better job security, and improved conditions at facilities.
Halloween is just around the corner, and this new Airbnb will put a spell on you. Fans of the movie Hocus Pocus can stay at the Sanderson Sisters Cottage this Halloween season. The house is located in the remote woods of Salem, Massachusetts, and is available on Airbnb. It was recreated in honor of Hocus Pocus 2, which starts streaming on Disney Plus today. The listing opens on Airbnb October 12th at 1 p.m. That's super cool to see. Now, transitioning back to weather, one last look at weather. Ryan, what's the temperatures looking like?
Temperatures are looking pretty warm out there. It's still going to be below average for this time of the year, but we're going to be dry. So that's the biggest thing.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
That's all today for Cardinal Weather. Thank you for joining us this morning.
We'll see you next Friday. Have a great rest of your Friday and a fantastic weekend.